Hey guys, it's Rich here. Welcome to another video. So as you could have seen on the stream on Twitch, I've been playing and testing Priest for the last couple of months on the War Within beta. Basically, I'm doing two videos, one covering Discipline and one covering Holy. And today we're gonna start with Holy and see the main changes, an overview of the main changes that happened to the spec going into the new expansion. Also, an overview and comparison between Archon and Oracle, the new two hero talents specs. And then how does the spec feel both for raid and for M plus environment for both hero talents? And then the recommended build that I have for me and I'm using right now on beta for both raid and M plus. Also to end, basically I'm gonna do like my conclusion, what's the best one to play for both raid and M plus, what's the easiest one, basically the feelings that I have with both of them. So yeah, hope you like it and see you in a bit. Bye bye. So let's get into the core changes that Blizzard made to the Holy Priest into the War Within. And to be completely honest, they didn't make like any major significant change to the spec, to be fair. So pretty much all they did is increase the numbers of healing. So they buff heal, they buff Flex heal, they buff basically Circle of Healing, Prayer of Healing, Holy War Serenity. So yeah, they increased the numbers, they tuned the numbers, but they didn't make like significant design changes to the regular spec tree. If you have to choose or highlight two changes, one is the buff to the heal spell. Basically, they are buffing the baseline healing from the spec by 44%. And also, they are buffing the Lightweaver talent on the Holy Tree. And now it increases the healing by 25% instead of 50% as it was previously. That's one change that I think it will have a huge impact on M+, as I tested on beta. And then also the changes that they made to Divine Hymn. So now they increase the healing by 400%, aiming to make it a solid choice for M plus environment. As for raid, the healing power, it should be more or less the same as we had in Dragonflight. So yeah, basically they are buffing the spell, but at the same time they are reducing the healing it makes for groups of 5 or more members. So yeah, I think they are trying to make it a solid choice for M+. Let's see how it goes. To be honest, I tested it like twice on M+ on beta, but I didn't feel like super comfortable with it, especially for like movement heavy encounters. So yeah, I'm not sure about that change, but obviously we want to try it more and test it more once the expansion is live. So let's get now into the hero talents. Let's start with Archon. So with Archon, the first hero talent we will unlock at the level 71 is Power Surge. So casting Halo also causes you to create a halo around you at 100% effectiveness every 5 seconds for 10 seconds. And additionally, the radius of halo is increased by 10 yards. So going forward with the column on the left, we have Perfected Form. So your healing down is increased by 10% while Apotheosis is active, and for 20 seconds after you cast Holy War Salvation. Then we have a two choice talent selection, starting with Shock Pulse. So halo damage reduces enemy movement speed by 5% for 5 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. And then the second choice is Incessant Screams, which makes Physical Scream creates an image of you at your location, and after 4 seconds, the image will let out a Physical Scream. So this will be highly situational depending on if you are doing raid, if you're doing M+, if you have to CC something specific in an M+, or if you have to doing some kind of specific CC in a boss encounter. So yeah, this will be very highly situational depending on what you have to do. Then we have another two choice hero talent, starting with Energy Compression, which makes halo damage and healing is increased by 30%. And the second option will be Sustained Potency, creating a halo extended duration of Apotheosis by 1 second. And if a Apotheosis is not active at that moment, you store up to 6 seconds and applied, those 6 seconds will be applied the next time you gain Apotheosis. Then going into the central column, we have Resonant Energy, that allies healed by your Halo receive 2% increased healing from you for 8 seconds, stacking up to 5 times, which makes you will increase the healing received by you by up to 10%. This is very similar to how Divine Heim works. Every tick of Divine Heim increases the healing received by your allies by X%, so more or less it's the same. Then we have another 2-choice hero talent. The first one is War for Supremacy. It buffs Power of Fortitude and giving an additional 5% stamina. So instead of granting the baseline of 5%, it will you will be buffing your group, your party, or your raid up to 10% stamina. Then we have Concentrated Infusion, which makes Power Infusion grants you an additional 10% haste. This is important to know. It doesn't give this 10%, this additional 10% to the other player. It's only for you, for the priest. Otherwise, it will be like super nice. That said, on the column on the right, we have Manifested Power. Creating a Halo grants you Surge of Light. Then we have Empower Surges, increasing the healing done by flash heal affected by Surge of Life. It increases the healing by 30%. And then we have Energy Cycle, consuming Surge of Light reduces the cooldown of Holy War Sanctify by 4 seconds. And last but not least, we have the last hero talent at level 80, which is Divine Halo. Halo now centers around you and returns to you after it reaches its maximum distance, healing allies and damaging enemies each time it passes through them. So this talent is what makes Halo go back to you, so it grows outwards from you and then it comes inwards again. So this is done like 3 times, I think. It's the visual effect is super nice. So the good thing about this, obviously, this talent is especially on, I mean, all the talents affect this, and basically the whole spec is based on Halo and how to use Halo correctly. But these talents on the right, and they are super important because they are, every time that Halo goes outwards, you will get a Surge of Light. This Surge of Light allows you to cast instantly Flash Heal with no mana, and it increases the healing done by 30%. And also, it's very important to play with this and don't cheat on 2 stacks of Surge of Light. But we'll see this later. That said, this is the overview of Archon, and we'll go now into Oracle. Okay, so now let's get into the Oracle hero talents. So we start with Premonition. Premonition is composed by 3 different spells, and it rotates between them every time you use the ability. So you start with Premonition of Insight, reduces the cooldown of your next 3 spell cast by 10 seconds. So if you active this and you spam Prayer of Mending, basically you can cast 3 Prayer of Mending without CD. So I think this is very powerful. Or in M+, you can also use this with Holy Fire. So you are spamming Holy Fire without any CD. Then you have the second spell will be Premonition of Piety, increases your healing down by 21%, and it causes that 98% of your overhealing on players, not only on yourself, but also on the rest of the players. It is redistributed to up to 4 nearby allies for 15 seconds. So all your overheal that you do for these 15 seconds, it is redistributed into effective healing for up to 4 people. Then you have Premonition of Solace. Your next single target healing spell grants your target a shield that absorbs 2 million damage and reduces the damage taken by 21% for 15 seconds. So this is like another external CD that you have as a Holy, which is really nice because Holy is not the best class or the best spec in terms of external CDs. So I think this is a really huge improvement for them. Then continuing with the column on the left, we have Preventive Measures, increases the healing done by Prayer of Mending by 25% and increases the damage dealt by Smite, Holy Fire and Holy Nova by 25% as well. Then assured safety, prayer of mending, cast, apply a power word seal to your target at 100% effectiveness. So what this means is that every time you cast prayer of mending, you put a shield on that player. And one thing it's really important to understand from this talent is that every talent that affects power word seals also applies to this. So all the seals that you put through prayer of mending also are affected by the talents that put additional effect in the shield, like Body and Soul, that increases the movement speed by 40% when you cast a shield. It also works with the Prayer of Mending version. Then we have a two-choice talent, starting with Prophet's Will. Your Flash Heal, and Holy Word Serenity are 30% more effective when cast on yourself. So basically, with all these abilities, all the healing that you make on yourself are increased by 30%. Then Desperate Measures, Desperate Prayers last an additional 10 seconds, and Angelic Bulwark's absorption effect is increased by 15% of your maximum health. So this is basically situational, but I already told you that most of the time you will be going with Prophet's Will, and I will explain why later. Then on the column of the center, we have Preemptive Care, increases the duration of renew by 6 seconds. Then we have another two-choice talent, starting with Divinate Feathers. Your Angelic Feathers increases movement speed by an additional 10%. And when an ally walks through your Angelic Feather, you're also granted 100% of its effect. The second choice is Save the Day, that for 6 seconds after casting Leap of Faith, you might cast it again without, ignoring its cooldown. So this is really nice, and I think this will be highly situational depending on the boss encounter or the M+ you are doing. But Save the Day, for example, to me is like being able to cast twice Leap of Faith. I think it will be super powerful, specifically in the rate of Minoman. Then we continue with Divine Providence, which makes Premonition gains an additional charge. So instead of just one single charge, you have now 2 of them that you can use on Premonition. Then on the column to the right, we have another two-choice talent, starting with Waste No Time, which makes Premonition cause your next skill or prayer of healing cast to be instant and cost 50% less mana. So every time you use Premonition, your next heal or prayer of healing will be instant and costing less mana. Then we continue with Foreseen Circumstances. When an experience lasts an additional 2 seconds. I think this is nice. It's not the best talent, but I think it's nice to have. And then we end with Fate Bender, and this is another two-choice talent. So Fate Bender increases the effect of Premonition by 40%. So basically, Premonition have a baseline effect, and then this talent increases it by 40%. And then we have the other option, which is Perfect Vision, which reduces the cooldown of Premonition by 15 seconds. And then to finalize the hero talent tree, we have Clairvoyance, which makes casting Premonitions of Solace invokes Clairvoyance, expanding your mind and opening up all possibilities of the future. And it unlocks Clairvoyance, which makes grants Premonition of Insight, Piety, and Solace at 100% effectiveness at the same time. So to summarize, when you use Premonition the 3 times, so you use first Insight, then Piety, and then Solace, when you cast Solace, the next spell, instead of being Premonition of Insight, it will be Clairvoyance. And when you use Clairvoyance, you gain the 3 effects all at the same time. So this is situational on how you are going to use this, because sometimes you will be using Clairvoyance and you will prioritize maximizing the output from one of the effects. But basically, you get all of the effects at the same time, which I think is very powerful. So that's it for Oracle. We'll see now into detail how it feels and the recommended build. So that's it for the Oracle Hero Talents. Now let's do a quick overview of the tier set bonus. So for the tier set bonus for Holly, we'll start with the 2 set bonus, which is Serendipity is 10% more effective. I think for Holly, this is a really great bonus for the 2 set, basically because we increase the cooldown reduction for our Holly words from heal, flash heal, prayer of healing, etc. And then going into the 4 set bonus, heal, flash heal, and prayer of healing have a 50% chance to cast again at a 35% effectiveness. I think this is great. I think this is especially for the cooldown reduction of the Holy Words. The only downside is that right now, as of the beta, like 2 weeks before the release of the expansion is bugged. So basically what it does is when you cast Prayer Healing, it does the double cast, but it also wastes double of mana. So I don't think that's how it's intended to work, because otherwise it doesn't make any sense. So yeah, hopefully it is fixed by the release of the expansion, but it also affects talents like the Light Weaver that we are using in M+. So you know that you have 2 stacks of Light Weaver. So instead of only using one stack when it double cast, it also consumes the 2 charges. So it doesn't make any sense. I think it's a bug, but yeah, it's not yet fixed. So hopefully Blizzard, please fix it before the release of the expansion. So that's it for the set. Let's go now into how it feels and how I'm playing Oracle and Archon in Raid and M+. So we have here some footage from playing Holy Archon in beta in Raid. So basically, regarding the playstyle, it doesn't differ too much from the current playstyle of the spec in Dragonflight, but there are a few changes regarding the tier set bonus and the hero talents that will make us like use a little bit differently some abilities. But in terms of the fillers and the spenders, basically, it doesn't change too much. We keep using Prayer of Healing, we keep using Circle of Healing, we keep using, obviously, both Holy Words, Sanctify and Serenity. So there is some much change regarding that, but regarding the tier set bonus and the hero talents, basically, let's start with we no longer have the tier set bonus from Dragonflight Season 3 and Season 4, which make us in a position that we no longer have extra stacks of the Holy Words. So we need to think twice about when and how to use both Serenity and Sanctify. That said, on the other side, we have the new hero talents, and basically it has 2 highlights. One, it makes Halo now the centerpiece of the build, and also it makes Flash Heal super important to reduce the cooldowns of Sanctify. So let's go with Halo. So for example, I'm casting right now here on this post Halo, and as you can see, the HPS on the right on the details, it's outstanding. You can see that I went from the 6th healer to the second one in output in like 10 seconds. So I can tell you that Halo is now much more powerful. It's like around 35% of your overall healing in a boss. So we need to treat it as a new raid CD, but with just 1 minute CD. So we can just use it randomly. We need to use it when we know a big damage event is happening or is upcoming. And also regarding Halo, now as you remember, we have different talents that buffs the Search of Light talent, which makes Flash Heal cast instantly and without costing mana. The thing is that right now, every time the Halo grows from you will get a stack of Search of Light. So when you use this stack, it also reduces the cooldown of your Sanctify, allowing you to cost more AoE healing. So this for raid is really, really awesome, and the output is provided is just outstanding. So that said, regarding to how it feels, to be honest, I think Holy Archon is one of the easiest spec to learn from, since the learning curve is super short, it's very straightforward, it's a very complete healer for raid, and also the output it provides versus the difficulty to master it is a no-brainer. So I think Holy Archon is one of the healers that for sure we will see on Mythic Raiding. So yeah, there isn't much more to say about Holy Archon. So let's review now the recommended build for Holy Archon in Raid. So here is the build. I'm not going to go through all the details again because we previously saw them on in-game. But the main change that I wanted to mention is that we are going to spec into Prayer Circle instead of Healing Chorus. And the why behind this decision is that previously with the tier set bonus from Dragonflight Season 3 and Season 4, we had a really high uptime of Renew. So this will make our Circle of Healing get in 20 stacks every time we will cast it. But this is no longer the case. So we prefer to spec into Prayer Cycle because this will reduce the cast time and the mana cost of Prayers of Healing, which is very high. And this will allow us to increase the cooldown reduction for Holy War Sanctify. And the overall output will be higher than speccing into Heading Corners. That's basically the main change that I will highlight. Other than that, besides the hero talent, is pretty much what we already have in Dragonflight. So in terms of how Holy Archon feels in M+, let's break it down in 3 sections. The healing output, damage output, and then the utility. So in terms of healing wise, I think now Holy Archon is in a better place than what we currently have as Holy in Dragonflight. So the why is basically the spot healing became better. So now they buff the baseline healing from heal and also the healing increase from Lightweaver. So now speccing into Lightweaver for M+ is a no-brainer because of the healing output. And also something that we were missing in Dragonflight is a powerful AoE healing because we had Sanctify, but when the big damage event happens, it's not enough to keep the party alive. So as you can see on this footage, basically when you cast Hallow, it supports you while you keep a spot healing. So the good thing about Hallow is that it makes your it keeps your party alive, but at the same time it gives you a stack of Swords of Light that you will use to keep a spot healing your party. So in terms of healing output, I think Holy Archon is a very solid option for M+. Now regarding the damage output, I think it also became better, basically because we now have Hallow, so we keep using Cast Ice, we keep using Holy Fire, but now with Hallow, it also increased your damage output, as you can see on the footage. That said, I think the big issue that we have as a Holy Archon is the utility, basically because two main reasons. One is we don't have really powerful external CDs, so Holy Oracle or Discipline Prayers, they have pain suppressions, they have barriers. Now Holy Oracle, they have the Premonition CD, which reduces the damage taken by 21% and a 2 million shield on anyone on your party. So we don't have any of these with us Holy Archon. So I'm a little bit worried that what will happen in really high key levels, because the problem in high key levels isn't like the healing output, is more the damage that you take. And basically, if you are getting one shot, it doesn't matter how well you are healing, that your party will die. So I'm not really sure how this is going to work out for Holy Archon, but yeah, we will see. That said, also the second issue is that our utility. This is common for pretty much all the priests, the both Holy and Discipline. The problem is that we only have Physical Scream, which is a very long CC cooldown. And at the same time, we don't have any kind of stun or interrupt that help support your party when it comes to keep someone or the trust or stun them or basically CC them in a more frequent way. Anyhow, that said, for early keys, mid-level keys, probably Holy Archon is going to be one of the best options, basically because the easiness it has to learn the spec, and also the output it has for M+. So this is the build that I'm using right now in beta for Holy Archon in M+. So there isn't much to say, but there are a few talents that you can iterate and play with. So let's start with the column on the left for the hero talents. So you can choose between energy compression and sustained potency. So energy compression, it buffs your Hallow damage and healing, and sustained potency, it increases the uptime of Apotheosis. So I'm a big fan of increasing the uptime of Apotheosis, especially in M+, to keep reducing and get a higher cooldown reduction for especially Serenity, Holy War Serenity. But it's up to you to test and see which one is more comfortable for you and your playstyle. And then on the Holy Tree, basically you have two main iterations. One is Divine War versus Divine Image. Divine War is basically another button that you have to pay attention to. You have to use it. You have to keep it on CD. So yeah, it's more, I mean, difficult in terms of learning how to play it well. And Divine Image is a passive, so you only need to spam your Holy Words and that's it. And then obviously it's something that you want to test and see, like probably this is also situational, but it's also depending on how comfortable you are like playing Holy Priest basically. And then the other point that I wanted to highlight is Lightweaver. You have in M+, you have to spec 100% into Lightweaver with the recent buff that they made to both heal and Lightweaver increased healing. It's a no-brainer. Basically, it buffs a lot the output from heal. The only downside that I mentioned at the beginning of this video is that the tier set bonus is currently bugged. So it consumes both charges of Lightweaver, but hopefully this will be fixed for the release of the expansion. So yeah, that's it. There isn't much to say. And let's go into Holy Oracle. So now let's talk about the Holy Oracle spec. So in comparison with Holy Archon, it feels much more complex to play. So in a nutshell, it's a high risk, high reward profile. So if you play it correctly and if you play it well, your performance will be higher than Holy Archon, but obviously the complexity is a struggle, starting with Premonition. First of all, the Premonition icons, the spell icons, they are all very similar. So if you don't have a weak aura, you will struggle to really understand what is the next effect in queue for your Premonition spell. That said, most of your healing output will come from two Premonition effects. One is the Premonition of Insight. This will allow you to cast Prayer of Mending 3 times without ignoring its CD. So this is really powerful because at the same time your hero talents are already buffing your Prayer of Mending by 25%. So that said, then you have Premonition of Piety. So every time you cast Premonition of Piety, all the overhealing that you do will be distributed across 4 raid members. So this has really nice synergies with Prophet Will Hero talent. So basically what you are doing here is that when you have Premonition of Piety and you know a big damage event is coming, you cast Warden Spirit on yourself. You cast Renew on yourself because you get the increased healing from Renew too. And then you cast Piety, and then you start spamming Serenity, Flash Heal, and Heal on yourself. Yeah, you heard it right. To heal your raid, you will be spamming the hell out of your heals on yourself because you get really nice synergy. So the problem with this is that if you don't really manage to overheal yourself, you will be punished because Piety heals if you are overhealing. If you are not overhealing, you are not getting any kind of output from it. So that said, the way it feels is that, to be honest, here in this footage, I struggle a lot with understanding what is next with the next Premonition effect. I struggle to really time it well. But once you learn how to play it well on every boss, I think Holy Oracle will be one of the best healing specs for raid. So this is the build that I want to start playing with Holy Oracle once expansion releases. So there are a few key synergies between the cooldown reduction for Serenity and also how Prayer of Mending works. First of all, Oracle empowers a lot of your Prayer of Mending. So basically, with Premonition of Insight, that you can cast it without any CD, so you can increase the total overall uptime of your Prayer of Mending in your raid, which will cause you to increase by a lot your output for Prayer of Mending. But at the same time, it is buffed, so the healing provided by Prayer of Mending is increases by 25% thanks to preventive measures. And also at the same time, every time you cast Prayer of Mending, you are putting a shield at 100% effectiveness on your party or raid member. That said, with answered prayers, every 50 times that you are healing with your Prayer of Mending, you are getting Apotheosis. So this will increase the cooldown reduction for Serenity, which will create a really nice synergy with Premonition of Piety, because you will have more Serenities to spend on yourself. And then we come to Lightweaver. So Lightweaver is weird to spec into it for a raid, but since they are increasing the healing done by a lot, I think that if we cast Piety with Warden Spirit and the Reunion buff, and you spam Serenity plus heals and heals on yourself, the output that you will get from Piety, considering it's already the first source of your healing output, it will be outstanding. So yeah, this is something that obviously we will iterate. We will need to test it more once the raid is released on live. But this is the one I want to try right away when the raid opens in the Heroic Week. So yeah, let's go into how it feels for M+. So let's talk now about Holy Oracle for M+. In terms of healing output, it doesn't differ too much from raid. So you have your Premonition of Insight that you will be using with Prayer of Mending, so you can cast Prayer of Mending for your entire party. And then you also have Piety, and as you can see on this footage, I'm casting right now Piety on myself. I cast Piety, then Warden Spirit on myself, and then I cast Serenities plus heals and heals on myself. And as you can see, I'm topping up the entire party in a really fast way. So this is the strongest point of Holy Oracle healing wise for M+. The AoE healing for when big damage events happen is higher than Holy Archon, even though Holy Archon has Halo. And then in terms of damage output, more or less is similar, but in Oracle, you can use your Premonition of Insights to cast 3 Holy Fire in a row without CD. So if you are fighting a specific trash group, you can, and you don't need to use Prayer of Mending to heal your party, you will be able to increase your damage output by a lot. That said, in terms of utility, the baseline utility is the same. We don't have many CCs, and we don't have many, basically we don't have any kicks or stuns or whatever. But in terms of damage reduction, we have 2 things that Holy Archon does not have, which is the third effect from Premonition, which is Premonition of Solace, that provides you with a 2 million shield and a 21% damage reduction that you can cast on anyone on your party. And then every time that you cast Prayer of Mending, you also cast shields. So if you are preparing for an incoming damage event from a boss, for example, you are also casting shields that will help you to increase the survivability of your party, which Holy Archon doesn't have. So in terms of difficulty, it's the same as I said with the raid. It's much more difficult to master, especially understanding the Premonition, like what is the next effect in Q for Premonition. And as you can see here, I'm already using a weak aura to really understand what is next on Q. So this helped me a lot to really time it depending on what is the mechanic that is coming up on the trash or on a boss. So yeah, in terms of learning curve, it's a long journey, but overall, I think for high key levels, Holy Oracle will be in a really great place this season 1 of the War Week. So this is the build that I was testing, and I want to clarify a few changes that they make. So starting with the class tree, we are speccing to Divine Star versus Halo because it provides more damage and more healing, considering that we don't have Halo buff as we have obviously in Archon. Then we are also speccing into Power Life because there is a great synergy with the hero talent Miraculous Recovery, because it reduces the CD by 3 seconds, and also it allows us to use it on targets below 50% health instead of 35%, which is the baseline. Then we are also speccing into Crystalline Reflection. And why this is because there is a great synergy with Assure Safety, that every time we cast Prayer of Mending, we also automatically cast a Power Word Shield. So all the talents associated with Power Word Shield also apply here. So in a nutshell, every time we cast Prayer of Mending, we cast Shield, and we also benefit from Crystalline Reflection. That said, I'm going into the Holy spec. It's very similar to the Holy Archon M+ spec. We are basically speccing into the talents, improving our heals and flash heals, and also our Prayer of Mending. And then we're also speccing into Answered Prayers because we want to increase the uptime of Apotheosis, and with Prayer of Mending being able to cast it 3 times with Prevention of Insight, this is something that creates a really great synergy. So the design of all of this is like, we cast Prayer of Mending, we cast Flash Heal, we cast heals, and then everything is designed to reduce as much as possible the cooldown from Serenity. So we have them ready with the Apotheosis to cast them on ourselves when we have Piety up. That's basically is the main goal of the how we have to play Oracle in M+. That's it. I think that's it for Holy Oracle, and then let's head into the conclusion. So now it's time for the conclusion and to share my opinion. So on one hand, we have Holy Archon. So Holy Archon for me is one of the easiest healing specs that you can learn in WoW, along with Restoration Shaman and Paladin Holy. So the learning curve is very short, and the output that you provide versus the difficulty it requires to master it is a no-brainer for most of the people. So if you don't have so much experience healing as a priest, or you are new to healing, or you don't have so much experience as a priest as a whole, I will recommend you to start and get started in the expansion with Holy Archon, because you will get a really decent output for both raid and M+, versus a really lean learning curve that will allow you to get comfortable with the class as a whole. That said, on the other hand, we have Holy Oracle, and as I said previously, it's a high risk, high reward spec. So it's super difficult to really play it well and play it correctly, because you really need to understand the boss mechanics, the damage windows, when you have to use what for both raid and M+. So once, if you want to really push yourself and get your maximum output from Holy Priest, I will recommend you to go with Oracle if you are thinking to push for the M+ title, or if you are pushing Mythic rating with your guild and there isn't any other Holy Oracle in your group. I will recommend to really learn how it works and really learn the mechanics from M+ dungeons and from boss mechanics, because you will get rewarded. The thing with Holy Oracle is that in the previous beta builds, until they buff it, you felt the difficulty, but you didn't feel the reward. Now that completely changed, and obviously the difficulty is still there, but you see the reward. So when you play it well and you really understand when to use what, you can see the performance is higher than Holy Archon. So again, if your goal is to push yourself, to push for M+ title, to get the maximum output in your Mythic raid, I will really recommend you to learn how to play it and go with Holy Oracle. Overall, to me, my option will be probably I will start with Holy Archon until we get some beast gear, and then I will make the change there to Holy Oracle to maximize my output, especially for the latest bosses in Mythic raiding, and to start pushing high key levels in M+. So that's it, guys. Hope you like the video. Hope it helps to make you to make a decision on what to play and how to play it if you were thinking about playing Priest for the upcoming expansion. So please let me know in the comments what you think, what's your feedback, if you missed anything from this video, so I can improve for the next one. Please like the video, subscribe, and see you in the next one. Bye bye bye.